Hi, Caitlin.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What brings you in today?
I've just been having some hard times with my relationship between my sister. It's definitely been bothering me.
Okay. Um, could you explain more about what's bothering you about this relationship?
So over the last 5 years, my family and I have been helping her raise her kids, and within this last year, she found herself a partner. And ever since he's been around, it's kind of like we don't exist. She pushed us off to the side, and the only time she tends to reach out to us is if she needs something. So it's definitely frustrating. I don't get to see the kids or her anymore.
That sounds very frustrating for you.
Yeah, it's definitely impacted my mental health.
Okay, well, I'm happy, you're here today and we can discuss, your relationship with your sister and anything else that might come about. Um, this is a safe place for you to talk about this, and nothing leaves our conversation unless, you were a safety concern to yourself or to others.
Okay.
Um, would it help, if you kind of reenact your, you know, recent interactions with your sister?
Yeah. So, it was about a week ago. We were at my nephew's basketball game, and I was sitting away from them just because I wanted to be there in support of my nephew. And after the game, I went up to my sister and mentioned that it's been bothering me not being able to spend as much time with her and the kids as I had previously. Um, Unless, like I said, if she needs somebody to babysit or go to an appointment. And when I told her that, she kind of just looked at me with a blank stare and didn't seem phased by what I had to say.
Okay. Let's circle back to that moment. So, could you, based off of, what you remember, could you kind of put yourself back in that moment and say exactly what you said to her?
Yeah, so I told her, I said, it's been bothering me for a while. I need to get this off my chest. I said that it's been bothering me the fact that the only time she tends to reach out to me is if she needs somebody to go to the doctor's appointments with the kids, or if she needs a sitter for the time um, in between her significant other coming home from work. And when I told her this, she kind of just was a deer in the headlights.
Wow, okay. So, could you reenact like what she did when you said that to her?
So she literally was like straight face, no
Wow.
emotion.
It sounds like she didn't give you much to really work with.
No, unfortunately, it's been like this for a while now. When anybody tries to confront her about anything going on, she kind of just freezes up, and she just, like I said, is kind of like a deer in the headlights. No emotion. It's almost like it goes in one ear and out the other. So it's definitely tough trying to get through to her that it's upsetting us, and definitely taking a toll on all of our mental health, but unfortunately it doesn't seem like it phases her.
That sounds, very frustrating for you. I can tell, being a part of your niece and nephew's lives are very important to you. I remember you telling me that in a prior appointment.
Oh yeah, family is everything to me, especially those two. Those two are my world, so it's been rough not being able to spend as much time with them.
It really does sound like that. What would you say is the most annoying about that situation with your sister?
The most annoying part would probably be the fact that I'm only thought about if she needs a babysitter so she can go out and do something. But like I'm never thought about in the stance of actually being invited to go out and do something with her and the kids or just spend time with them. It's always Oh, can you watch them for this? Oh, can you come with me to this? Like I said, I don't mind helping
Hmm.
whatsoever, but it's just it kind of sucks because I feel like I'm not able to have the relationship I'd like to have with them and my sister because we were close growing up. We shared a room together. I mean, up until she went into the military and got stationed in California, so it we've definitely had a rocky relationship, but I mean, it seemed to have mellowed out before this guy came around.
Wow, yeah, it sounds like a lot has changed with your relationship recently. If you were to tell your sister, like right now, how you were feeling, no holding back, this is a free space for you to just say whatever is like comes to mind. Tell me, like, what would you say to her if you know, could just tell her everything on your mind right now?
I'd probably tell her that it pisses me off that she doesn't seem to bother with me unless it's something to benefit her, and doesn't matter how my relationship is with my niece and nephew. It seems like to her, I mean, I want to have the best relationship possible with my niece and nephew and her, but it seems like she's more focused on her boyfriend in this moment, so it's just tough. Like it almost seems like our relationship is becoming strained because I'm not allowed to spend as much time as I'd like with them.
Yeah, no, that sounds very frustrating. How does it feel hearing yourself say that out loud?
Definitely hits home. It like feels nice being able to like express my emotions instead of holding them in.
Yeah, no, that's good. I'm happy to, create a safe space with you to, really bring out those thoughts and ideas about how you feel about this situation. Um, do you think that we could work on together finding a way that you could create a healthy boundary for you and your sister's relationship and with the kids?
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely like that because, like I said, family's everything. So I'll do whatever it takes to help with that relationship.
Okay. So, let's think about this one. So, what would you say is the main problem in your relationship with your sister right now?
The main problem is probably the fact that the only time she reaches out is when she needs something, whether it's somebody to go to appointments with her. Like I said, I don't mind that. Or
Hmm.
to babysit the kids, which, yes, I love spending time with the kids, having sleepovers, but it's like she wants us to watch the kids so she can go out and do stuff. And it's like frustrating because it's like, okay, so you can go out and have fun and you're just going to leave the, the kids home. I mean, like I said, I love spending time with them, but it's just frustrating that that's the only time that she allows for us to even potentially see the kids. It has to be like on her time. And we don't um if we don't watch the kids, then she kind of snaps at us, and she always tries to have to get her own way.
Yeah, that sounds very frustrating. And I'm happy you're here today talking about it. And we can see, as we focus on creating this boundary, how to approach it. What would you need to be different for you to feel less, overwhelmed and taken advantage of in this situation?
Probably having her put my emotions and feelings into perspective and realizing that, like I said, the only time she reaches out is when she needs something from me, not, hey, come over, let's go do something with the kids, or we miss you, like, what are you doing this weekend? It's always, what are you doing this weekend? Can you take the kids? And it's like they're almost being pawned off, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. Yeah. Um, so let's think about this. Have you ever used I statements before?
No, no, I haven't. What is that?
So, I statements, well, what we're going to try to do is find a way to create a healthy boundary between you and your sister and, the relationship with the kids. But we're going to do it in a way so that hopefully you're able to create the boundary, but, also kind of talk to your sister about what you need as well while creating this boundary. And hopefully it will, allow you to still see your niece and nephew, but in a way that, is still healthy.
Okay.
Um, so you could say something like, I'm happy to help, but I would need this in order to help you. So, or you could say something along the lines of, I feel blank when this happens.
Okay.
So it helps you to create that boundary. Like, yes, I would love to help, but I feel this way when this happens. Or, obviously I'm not going to create it for you, but, maybe you can, take your time and think of something you might say to her.
Okay. Let me probably I love being able to help with the kids, but I would appreciate being thought about to spend quality time with you and the kiddos as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I'm sure there's some more that you could come up with, as we're coming to an end on this session, maybe throughout this week, you can come up with some more. And that way, next time this comes up with your sister, as we're, noticing a pattern, next time this comes up with your sister, you can, you know, pick out that idea that you had created throughout this week and try it with her.
Yeah, definitely. I will definitely try to um use that technique with my sister and see what happens. And if I come up with any other statements, I'll jot them down so we can talk about them next week.
Yeah. How does it feel, taking this different approach to the situation? Have you used anything like this before? Like
No, I
creating a
haven't.
boundary? Oh,
I
sorry.
haven't. No, no, you're okay. I haven't, but it's definitely eye-opening and it hopefully will benefit.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for talking to me today about this, topic. And, I hope you have a wonderful week. And we'll touch base next week and see how things turned out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day, Caitlin.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, the psychotherapeutic approach I implemented was structural family therapy. Verbal communication techniques that were used were joining, intensity, and boundary setting. Joining was used when I said to the patient, this is a safe place and nothing leaves this conversation unless safety is a concern. That is my way of building a rapport with the patient and making the client feel safe so that way they can really tell me what's coming to mind. We also performed enactment. I said to the client, can you put yourself back in that moment and say exactly what you said to your sister? I then proceeded to have the client try to attempt to enact how her sister acted in that moment in response to what my client had said to her sister. We also implemented the technique of intensity. I said to my client, if you could tell your sister one thing right now without holding back, what would you say? I did this to allow my client to really bring in her emotions and her meanings behind, these repeating situations with her sister. I believe that it was successful because my client said that once she felt herself say that out loud and hear herself say, how she felt about the situation with her sister, um, she said that she felt better. I also implemented the technique of boundary setting. I clearly said to the client, do you think we could work on creating a healthy boundary for you and your sister? We proceed to then discuss I statements to communicate a clear boundary. Overall, I believe my family therapy approach was successful and insightful to the client. The client was able to successfully explore insight and emotions surrounding these repetitive patterns with her sister, what she says would be taking advantage of her. Um, and I believe my client felt unjudged in the moment as I supported her and let her talk openly about our interaction and her feelings and thoughts about her interaction with her sister. And I engaged in eye contact. I did notice my client struggled to engage in eye contact when talking about her sister. At times was looking off into the distance. I don't know if that might have been due to being nervous about the situation or just taking more time to really think about the nature and the severity of her situation. She was able to identify a clear boundary, and we discussed, revisiting how those clear boundaries were performed and how successful they were when she presented them and used them with her sister. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.